from the Music Hypebeast Studios for the OpenWav podcast, and we are super ultra excited to be broadcasting another, or really illuminating another story of a creative soul in the world of music. The independent voice is still the biggest voice in the space because independent artists, music run the table on everything because their narratives, their influences, their perspectives, it changes everything on how the world is shaped and molded. And when you think about it, that's how it's been since the beginning of music. Every even go back to the Billie Holiday days, the Cab Calloway days, Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, all of these unknown acts, they transform music, especially in hip hop and R&B. When you hear the raw sounds and authentic storytelling, it really elevates the game to a different level. We have the biggest independent ecosystem when it comes to interviews. We have over 34 podcast shows. The reason why we started this Music Hypebeast multimedia ecosystem dealing with podcasts is because we knew the stories and the journeys of everybody in the space. So it was very important for us to help tell these stories. Today is no different. I'm speaking to a recording artist who believes her vision, her voice, her message, and most importantly, her story um, will be a part of music legacy, music royalty. And I'm so honored to be speaking with the new California native, MJ, hailing out of, I think it's Houston, right? Texas.
Yes, I'm coming from Houston, Texas. I was actually born here, but then I was raised in Florida, and we can get in all of
All right.
that.
So without further ado, MJ, welcome to the Open Wave podcast. By the way, people, make sure that you download the Open Wave app, OpenWav. Download the OpenWave app, create your free profile, upload your music, set your price, sell your music directly to your fans, and there's no middleman. You are a self distributor, and they don't need to download an app or anything like that. You just send them your link. They buy your music. The money goes right into your PayPal account and your back office at OpenWave. You start making money. Also with OpenWave, which is amazing, you can actually launch your clothing line with no money up front because we have all the inventory. Um, and all you got to do is upload your design and pick the clothes you want to sell. And OpenWave ships to over 150 countries. You keep 80%, OpenWave keeps 20. It's just that simple. Men's apparel, women's apparel, and children. Everything from hoodies, shirts, hats, beanies, bundle kits, tote bags, you name it. MJ, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I cannot complain, no matter what life throws at you. I mean, you could complain, but it's just better to just chuck forward and do the best that you can. So I can't complain.
No doubt about it. You know, we are in a crazy place right now when it comes to the music industry with everything going on with, you know, low streaming payouts. People are mainstream artists even canceling shows. The game is so tricky right now with artists trying to make a living with music, and AI has really impacted it in a major way. What are your thoughts on AI, and what are your thoughts on the payout model that they give artists with the streaming?
So on the payout model, I definitely agree that it could be more. And unfortunately, I feel like us independent artists suffer the most. Because at the end of the day, mainstream artists, they still have a bigger, wider, they still have royalties they can rely on a lot of the times, bigger placements, the radio push, the record label push to make up for it. Even though some of them are canceling shows, you still have, of course, the big ones like Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion, who still have high shows that they can rely on. And they still sometimes have protection through labels. With us independent artists, when it comes to streaming, to get just barely half a penny on a play, that's hard to deal with. That's almost impossible to deal with. It makes you go back to the drawing board. It makes you go back to square one. I definitely feel like us independent artists, so we constantly get these promises that, oh, things will change. For instance, when Tidal was started, it was going to see more in our pockets, but yet at the end of the day, as independent artists are the ones who are still having to fiend for ourselves or having to make do with
Mhm.
the little bit that we're getting paid. And we're already our own business person. And then in terms of I don't think you can ever replace the human touch on art. I believe AI will be more so of a tool, much like synthesizers in the 80s, much like how when computers overall began to play a role in music in the 80s. I'm actually a believer that these tools, they'll never really replace that human mark on art, that human kind of touch on things. I believe that it's a tool that you can use for music, but I don't foresee it completely replacing us. And I know there's a lot of fear with all these AI artists. You can't tell who's an AI artist or who's a real artist, like R&B songs that are completely made up from AI artists. But I still think deep down the human touch will always persevere when it comes to music.
No doubt about it. So, how do you feel about Open Waves platform where you can actually go direct to fan?
Sure. I think that's great. I think that's actually genius. Platforms like OpenWaves or Reverberation, where you can sell directly to fans, like merchandise. I believe that a lot of times with us independent artists, since we already don't have a middleman, it makes it better, maybe even at times even easier for us to navigate. And we need to take advantage of platforms such as that one, such as OpenWave. We need to take advantage of any opportunity that we can get in order to put our faces out there, put our recognitions out there, put our songs out there, like you said, make an impact. Independent artists have always been here. We've probably been here since classical music with Mozart, when Mozart and Wolfgang was considered the mainstream at the time. There was probably underground orchestral composers. So I think platforms such as Open Wave. And it's something that I need to work on too, because when I first started this journey, I used to take advantage of platforms more like those. And it's something that I want to go back into instead of just doing the usual of what everyone else is doing, pushing it just like on the mainstream, like streaming, like the Spotify's, your Apple Musics or your TikToks. I think Open Wave is a source that I definitely know me myself needs to utilize more because it's catered more towards us.
Definitely. Now I did. Now you submitted your music over to us, which we're honored to be. We're going to be playing that on Power 102 Point Los Angeles. Make sure you follow us on TuneIn, TUNEIN. We have over 1,800 people have saved our station as their favorite. So make sure you follow us on TuneIn, Power 102.8 LA. What did you think of the review that I emailed you?
I think the review was, I agree with it. And it's something that I've been working on as an artist in terms of showing more emotion in my voice. I've come a very long way. I'm always honest and transparent. When I first started being a rapper, I wasn't the best, but I had to work at it. I had to practice, 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 practice your skill. I love the fact that you can feel though where I'm coming from in terms of the lyrics, the audience, that you can see this song being catered to, free your mind, especially when it comes to specifically women. You can see women understanding it. It's an interesting kind of landscape that we've been at post COVID. And it's a song where at the time I was recording it, I was going through a lot of my own trials and tribulations. So I'm glad that you can recognize who can understand this song. And I
Right.
do agree with the criticisms as well in terms of wanting to hear when things are high on the song, wanting to hear more emotional highs. When things are low on the song, wanting to hear more emotional lows. And of course, in terms of the mixing and technical as well, the mixing and mastering, I'm always working on that. I'm always looking. I work with different producers, different sound engineers. So I'm always looking for opportunities to work with different people in order to further advance my sound.
Got it. So, well, first of all, we call it creative insights. It's not so much criticism because
Gotcha.
there's things you're doing right, and then there's things that just our humble insights of things that can elevate because you already have your own gift with what you're doing. So it's really important that we phrase it like that. The main thing is knowing that you can work with a company that that's why I told you before. I said I need the music,
Mhm.
right? I was telling you on the phone, like I need the music so we can hear it, get involved in it because when artists work with radio pushers, one of the things that we focus on, if we know the music, then we know you. If we don't know the music, then we don't know you because your life story is a part of the music, a big part of that. So that's really important to us. Let's talk about your music journey so far as an independent artist. Obviously, a lot of independent artists they don't, they are independent, so they self-finance everything. They normally don't have management. They're normally booking everything themselves. Tell us your system. Are you independent? Are you signed to a label? Are you financing everything? Kind of give us your infrastructure.
Sure. So I am completely independent. I am financing everything. During the pandemic, I was doing my own work, anything I could, any type of gig work in order to finance my own music videos, finance. I always make it a point to utilize playlisting, pushing my songs on playlists, getting my songs out to different types of people, marketing, all of that. So, my system that I have been doing is that I've been working any way that I can. I usually prefer to work on my own, to be honest. Any type of work that I can find in order to finance my own music. When you're independent, you have to be your own boss, you have to be your own manager. Even though one of the things that I have been praying for and manifesting is my own team, because I understand those are things that you can't always do on your own. Sometimes you do need a lot of help. And I feel like that's been a big issue when it comes to me is finding my tribe, finding my group.
Mhm.
But my system has been that I do self-finance everything. I work on my own. I do any type of work that I can. So a lot of times I have to wear 2 hats, 3 hats, 4 hats, 5 hats, and
Right.
so forth.
No doubt about it. And one of the great things and dangerous things about that is that you see the amount of work that it takes to try to even stay afloat. And then not even because you can work on your business or in your business. Most people work in their business because they're doing everything. When you work on your business, that means you have a team that can help you identify other things because you can't see the entire 360-degree picture when you only have two eyes. You need a multiple pair of eyes to see all around what you're doing because there's so many layers to the process of everything. I want to get into this. We know that financing your career and then trying to make great decisions, is tough because you're still maneuvering in a terrain that you're still new to. What has been some of the difficult things that you've encountered by not having a team?
So a lot of the difficult things has been, for one, how to the type of content that I put out there, how to market myself, how to
Hmm.
push myself, the type of audience that I'm looking for. Hip hop is known as a young man's or a young woman's game, a young crowd's game. And especially in the state of female hip hop, as you can tell, I'm not your typical female rapper. I'm a bit more conscious. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm a bit more
Conscious.
conscious. I'm a bit more deeper, though. I've made some fun songs as well. The biggest hindrance has been how to find my audience, how to market myself, how to put
Mhm.
myself out there, and also performing live too. I've been doing mainly open mics. I just moved to Los Angeles because, to be honest, I am ready to take myself to the next level. I do feel like I'm someone who needs a bit more guidance. I need to be way better at networking, finding the right people to understand my vision, understand where I'm coming from, understand my goals, my dreams, and also, like I say performing too. I would love to work with the stage coach. I feel like I could be a way better performer. I would love to become a way better performer. Performing more at festivals. Going on tours. A dream of mine to be on an actual tour. So those are the biggest challenges when it comes to not having my own team.
Let me ask you this: um, when it comes to your music career, what are some things that you have told yourself that you must do this year, that you must accomplish this year that you haven't done, that you got it? What's like what's one thing? I know it's probably multiple, but what's one thing?
I guess the biggest thing that I feel like I must accomplish this year is having a breakout moment. I would love to hear my song. I know it's an old school thing because now it's a digital world and there's playlisting and there's streaming. It's always been a dream of mine to still hear my song on like the actual radio. Just
Hmm.
to turn to an actual radio station and hear one of my jams. I feel like there's still a magical moment about that. And of course, you never know when that's going to happen. You never know what life's going to throw at you. But that's been the biggest, just kind of like breakthrough. Like Drake talked about how you have a moment where everyone turns around and goes, "Who is that?" Whether when they first hear a song from you on the radio, who is that? We're like, who is that? We've never heard that before.
Hmm.
And that's been the number one thing, just to hear myself on the radio.
Definitely. Well, I want to make sure that you listen to Power 102.8 Los Angeles because the guys are going to load up everything. You should be on the radio by Friday, and but you'll get an email about it. You just recently moved to Los Angeles. You're getting acclimated. You're getting used to everything, and it's a journey being solo and being independent, working multiple jobs, financing everything. It's tough. Right now, what have been some of the things you've been investing in as far as your marketing side? You've been buying ads, or are you working with a marketing firm? How is that set up? In?
So I haven't gotten to that yet since I've been here because I've only been here practically a month. This is my second month. I moved here back in April. In the past, I have been investing a lot of my time into playlisting, also visuals. I'm big on like music videos.
Mhm.
Um, trying not to say too many out. In terms of marketing and ads, those tend to be tricky for me. I'll be honest. Again, that's another drawback to not having a team, knowing how to run ads, the audience to run ads for, who is more likely to listen to my music, to spread the word on my music. A huge thing too that I do want to get into is licensing my music. I want to hear my music on shows. I want to hear my music on TV shows, reality shows, a scene. That's actually been a big goal of mine that I do plan on undertaking. Is actually working on music publishing, putting my music in libraries. I believe that's a huge part of the game now, to be honest.
Definitely. All right. So, what have right now? Um, how do you spell your name on streaming sites?
All of this, my name is MJ. To make it easier, every link of mine has MJM the rapper. One of my last projects that I released, you can type MJM the rapper, and it'll even pull up one of my last projects, which is MJM the rapper X Love. It's the two-track EP where I made a fusion of two songs that were a fusion of hip hop and R&B. But MJM the rapper is one of the monikers that I use to find me easier. It's in all my links, all my social media links, my YouTube link. It's in everything. MJM the rapper.
All right. And what have you enjoyed the most about being on this live stream, the Open Wave live stream pod interview stream today?
I love speaking to someone like yourself who has been a part of the industry. I can tell that you're someone who's been on both sides. You understand the indie side. You've probably seen the record label side as well. You've seen both sides of the coin. And just to read you review my music, the compliments that you gave it, the love that you showed towards it, I've been a little bit traumatized. And one thing that I am working on is how to take in people's reactions towards my art and my work.
Mhm.
And so I've just been enjoying just having you actually like review and listen to my work, like deeply listen to my song.
Yeah, and when you look at that email, go back to it again. That's yours. And plus, we have some more free guerrilla marketing things for you. But the main thing is you knowing that there are people and organizations out there, which is now radio pushers, that want to partner with you in your success. And it's not about having a bunch of money; it's about having the right attitude and the right drive. And that's one thing that I really, respect about working with artists. It gets me excited every day. With that being said, give out your Instagram handle so people can follow you on social media.
Yes, my Instagram handle is MJMTHERAPPER, no spaces. MJM the rapper. That's on all my social medias. I'm on TikTok. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I am on X, aka Twitter. MJM the rapper. Also, please follow my YouTube channel as well. You can follow me on streaming services. Follow my YouTube channel. Again, in the link, youtube.com/MJM the rapper. And check me out. Follow me. Subscribe to me. Comment. I am going to be working on some new music this year. I am looking into networking more in the LA area.
Mhm.
I'm here, I'm in the city. And I am also looking forward to meeting some new artists around here, meeting new artists, producers, people around here too in the scene.
Definitely. But we look forward to building with you. We'll talk about some things offline real quick.
Mhm.
But amazing interview, great, great journey. We look forward to having more live stream interviews with you, telling your story at a much higher level. And you said you did. Make sure you follow OpenWave on Instagram, OPENWAV_official. And you said you did create your profile, right?
If I haven't, I will. I
Yeah. Go
believe
ahead.
I have, but I
Yeah.
will.
Go ahead and double check because we have a group chat with over 14,000 artists in it.
Yes.
So, well, that's a great way to meet people. That's a great way to meet people and network and build. All right,
All right.
people. MJ in the building, and across all socials. You said what? How is this spelled out again?
Oh, yes. M as in Mary, J as in Jack, M as in Mary, THERAPPER, MJM the rapper, no spaces.
All right, you got people. MJ the rapper in the building. Thank you so much for being on the Open Way podcast, powered by Music Hypebeast Multimedia section. Just hang on right there with us, people.